Howdy, howdy, howdy. It's Father 916. Some of you who follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and all the other places know me from my reviews of the Real Housewives of OC, Beverly Hills, Dallas, and a lot of other franchises. I did that for a number of years. I used to blog, and then I ended up on various people's podcasts and actually popped up on television through the years. But the format's gotten old. But every once in a while, there's a show or an episode that gets my attention. You know, back in the day, we used to call them water cooler conversations. Like, did you see that? Did you believe that? Oh, wow, we didn't see that coming. Bravo rebooted the Real Housewives of New York City 2 years ago, so they're now in their sophomore year, looking for an audience. And I think there's a lot of potential with this show because they have an integrated cast that actually reflects New York City. They have Indian housewives, lesbian housewives, white, black, Asian, and African. And we've been talking about this episode. I was on a podcast yesterday. We were talking about one of the cast members, if she's going to survive this. So if you haven't seen the episode, I believe it was on Tuesday night, this is sort of a recap, my third on this show. I've never talked about a Housewives episode 3 times in a week. This episode is a sort of, they're on vacation in Puerto Rico. And I'm mainly going to be talking about two of the women, Brynn Whitfield, who is biracial, beautiful woman, a lot of charisma. She's funny and likable, attractive. Then you have Uba Hassan, who is from Africa. Forgive me, I don't remember what country, but she's a model, 6 foot tall. I think both women have been tinkered with by producers because Brynn was my favorite person last year. But this year she's a bone carrier, bone collector. Bone collector essentially his job is to mix it up. You know, to take pieces here to get people stirred up and then omit pieces. It's not full of truth. It's just to just bring drama. I think one of the producers asked Uber to turn their volume up, and I think they broke the knob, and now they can't turn it down because Uber is to the point where she is, I can't say the word obnoxious, because she's so loud. I mean, I believe she lives downtown Manhattan. I think they can hear her over in Hoboken. So here's the issue and the controversy. These women are on a van. They've been snapping. All the women are tired of it. They've been snapping at each other. And Uber on the van said that asked Brynn if she slept with somebody to get on the show. Brynn's response was, "So you think I had to suck a dick to get on the show?" And Uber said, "Well, I didn't say that." And so that's where it ended, you would think. So Brynn tells the other women that Uber said that she sucked a dick to get on the show and how difficult it is to black people, which I find is interesting because she never talked about her black side. And, you know, how difficult it is for black women to get a job and being taken seriously. I'm paraphrasing. And so I'm curious what black people think about that because I thought that was sort of convenient. But anyway, the women, and she tells the women, she goes, and, Uba's my friend, and she know I was raped. And other women were sort of shocked by that. Wait, you were sexually assaulted, and your friend Uba said that about you. Well, the women are naturally outraged because this is not an area you play with. Sexual assault, rape. You don't play with this, and so they're all angry at Uba. Naturally, when one of the housewives, tells Uba what she says, like, you did this to your friend Bryn and you knew she was raped? And Uba says, I never knew she was raped. I never knew that. And she doesn't believe. And in fact, none of the women believe Uba. Because who plays with being sexual assaulted? Who plays with that? So, next thing we know, the mics are out. We see cameras. The fourth wall is broken the hell up. We see the producers. Uba is inconsolable. At one point she says, "I swear on to God and Allah on my firstborn that I never said that." And a couple of women were like, "Okay, this doesn't sound like anything Uba would do. Come on, this really seems extreme." But the producers now are concerned about what's going to happen. So at one point, they decide to send Uba and Jessel to a hotel to sort of calm things down in the house. And they're gone, and the remaining women are in one bedroom, and they're talking about it. They're sort of kind of stunned by all of this. And Bryn comes in, and she makes a fatal mistake she made a fatal mistake. The mistake that a lot of people who lie, they sort of put their foot in their mouth. And so one of the ladies asked, they said, did Uba really say that? Like Uba knew you were raped? And Bryn, with a smile on her face, going, well, I did say it to her, but she may have clocked it. Essentially saying, I said it, but it's possible that Uba didn't hear it. Well, all the women are outraged because they're all basically, you can all see on their faces, excuse me, bullshit. This is not something you play with. This is not something you play with. So they go from hating Uba to questioning Bryn. So Bryn feels the iciness in the room, and she decides to hang out in the living room with the producers. Later on in the night, she sends them a text and says, listen, I'm going to New York as soon as possible. I just want to go home. So as the morning comes up, she leaves early. Then we see Uba and Jessel, and Uba has been crying through the night. Her face is swollen. She has large cheeks. And they are apologizing to Uba because they didn't believe her. Uba is overly concerned about how the audience will receive it when the show is aired. More importantly, what would her boyfriend think of her? And they had to get back to New York, and this is the time, the season's done, so they have to do the promotions, to look glamorous and the whole 9 yards. Uber arrives somewhere in the middle and says, listen, I'm going to have to forgive Bryn because if I don't, I'm going to have this anger. And basically, I'm going to stop my blessings. Again, I'm paraphrasing. But right now, I don't want to see her. I don't want to see the bitch. Some of the other women have reached out to Bryn, but Bryn basically said, I'm not okay. So they do their thing, they do the promos, they get all glamorous and everything. And the last person we see is Bryn, and Bryn is crying and she's angry. She's angry and saying to herself, none of these women were her friends. And she's angry and bitter. And I think this is the part that kind of rubbed all of us, not all of us, but some of us the wrong way, because the statute of limitations on an apology is really short. The window is really short. If she did, in fact, it was a mistake or an error, something she feels bad about, she has a few days to apologize to Uba, where Uba may accept the apology. But if you wait several weeks, they may say it's okay, but the apology really isn't accepted. And my experience with housewives says that these women are upset, and if 4 or 5 of those women say I won't film with her, it's a wrap for Bryn. I'm not sure if I'm committed to all 3 episodes of the reunion, but I'm curious because I think the only hope for Bryn is an apology and acceptance. But we're talking between the last show and the reunion, we're probably talking about 4 to 6 weeks. So it's going to be interesting. But there are people willing to tell just horrible stories like that. So I'm curious how this will play out. Meanwhile, this is Rodfather, hoping that you will like, subscribe. I definitely want to hear your comments if you've watched this. And if you haven't watched it and you're somewhat curious, see it over Peacock. You can hear all the cussing there. You bet, you filthy belch. Thank you a lot for watching. I always try to keep it under 7 minutes, and I lied. I'm 4 minutes short. So wishing everybody love, joy, peace, and happiness. And I'm out of here. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry it took so long. Bye.